That's a perfect result, donwaltero. I'm just gonna flat call here. Try to suck somebody else into the pot. Sometimes you can do because people are always wanting a piece of the knockout. So we're happy to call. We're happy to take a flop with a nice suited hand like this. We're gonna raise with the 10-8 on the button. We're just gonna be check folding this. We're not too interested in, you know, getting it all in here. We get shoved on here pretty quick. Just gonna have to fold that. Folding the 5-7 up on the top right, queen 9. We're gonna play that. This is a shove. I don't like shoving here, but I can't keep folding. You know, I think that's a mistake that a lot of players do, is they just try to fold their way to the money. And I think, you know, like making a raise like this always looks suspicious. It's just gonna be hard to get paid here unless somebody else has a good hand. Is basically what it comes down to. I mean, you could shove all in, you could limp in, you can make a standard raise. I just think it's gonna be hard to get paid there. And out of the three choices I had, I think limping is probably the worst. So we're just gonna fold. This queen jack, just gonna let it go. If I had it in a little bit later position, under the gun, I just really don't want to get involved. And I'm happy to shove, you know, queen 10. Queen 10's definitely ahead of any random hand, and I'm happy to shove on the other player at the table that I'm, in a way, competing with, you know, to make the money. Because the other two players are sitting pretty comfortably. Will this player fold if I shove on him? Hmm. Let's try it. You know, I can do a lot of damage to his stack, and he calls. That's a terrible call. You know, um, you know, that's a terrible call. I mean, what are you beating? You're not beating anything. You're behind a lot of hands, and it's not like you had that much invested in 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 the hand. It's just this is just a you know this is just what I've been running into a lot. It's not like I called my money off with ace 5. I shoved on him with the ace 5. He called his money off with king high, so there's definitely a difference. Obviously, shoving with king 9 on the bottom left. Uh, Galoo, I'm not sure what he's doing. He's really not giving himself much of a chance to win. This guy min raises. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to get a fold. I'm just going to let this go. I'm just going to let it go. I don't know what the hell his min raise means. I was really half tempted to shove there and try to bust him. I think Galoo's definitely not giving himself any chance of winning or to making the money. You know, just gonna fold. I'm, you know, chips saved are just as good as chips won. Yeah, we're just gonna fold. Galoo's basically, I'm not sure what Galoo's doing. He obviously doesn't understand the game. Doesn't understand that you can't just fold your way to the money. But he does get his money in a dominating position, which kind of sucks that he doubled up because now we're gonna have to go through, you know, several more rounds of trying to whittle him down. I'm gonna shove. I got a pair. I gotta shove it and hope that I don't get called. And I do get called by the ace 8. He hits an ace, but I do flop a 3. So I'm breathing a little more comfortably, um, having doubled up. I think Galoo probably has a pretty strong hand here the way he's been playing. You know, he's been playing really tight. But this player did call awful quickly, so he must have had a strong hand too. And Galoo hits the 9 on the river. Still the blinds here. I know Galoo's playing pretty tight, really. He would absolutely have to have a monster to call me there. And let's say I did run into aces. You know, I would still have a few chips left over. I would still have a decent chance of making the money ahead of this player. If I was Don Walter, I'd probably just re-raise here. Snak Attack is raising a lot of hands. I'm obviously shoving here. I really don't mind a call. Especially if I can get it in, you know, in a dominating position. Got a good ace, call. Oh. So fortunately, we did make the money in this one, which is a good result. I'll go ahead and leave that one up. I'm just gonna fold. Looks like we're in a pretty good spot over here as well, as far as making the money. Hmm. Ace 9, but look who's in the big blind. You know, if I make a standard raise, he's gonna come over the top a lot. If I shove all in, I think this is just way too many chips, you know, considering the dynamics of the table to just shove in. I mean, this is kind of the spot. Do I give him credit for an ace or not? I mean, I guess I give him credit. Just after watching him play for the last, just after watching him play for the last, you know, half hour, I just don't think he's bluffing there too often. To be honest with you, I think he's a pretty weak player. I think he probably had an ace and was worried about getting sucked out on or something. And speaking of suck outs, we have a nice little suck out up here. I'm gonna put this player in. If I can knock him out, I get 2 KO points. I also move up in the money on this table.